Hey girls, Coach Brian here. So we did not have practice on Monday because of the weather, I guess. So we'll get together on Thursday. So because we missed practice, I wanted to make a video on a lot of what we're going to be doing on Thursday, which is to talk about setting screens. Okay, so we'll go over all this on Thursday, but if you had a chance to watch this ahead of time, great. If not, no problem. So I'm assuming most of you know what screens are, but if not, basically what a screen is basically an offensive player getting in the way of a defensive player for a few seconds in order to get another offensive player freed up. Okay? So basically, let's say X3 was covering 1. So this is the offensive player. This is one of our players. And this is a defender. Right? So basically, a screen would be for 4 to come over here and set a screen on 3. And we're going to talk about how to actually do this on Thursday. I can't show you that on the board here. I'm going to show you how to actually do it and what the rules are. But it's basically to come over here and temporarily basically put your body in between the defender and number 1 so that number 1 can get away and hopefully, can get a pass or something like that. Okay? So we're going to talk about the rules and all that. There's basically 2 kinds of screens. You can screen the person for the person that has the ball so that they can do the next thing, dribble, pass, shoot. Or you can screen for someone that does not have the ball in order to free them up so that maybe they can go and get free to maybe get a pass or something. Okay? So let's say number 2 has the ball. Let's say this is one of our point guards, whatever, whoever it is, Sophia or somebody like that, bringing the ball up, right? Here they come with the ball, blah, blah, blah. And what we were seeing in the game last week on Saturday is that we had 1 or 2 defenders. Our point guard would dribble right into the traffic and be stuck right here, okay? They would pick up their dribble, and now they're trapped. And we would never get a chance to get inside here, okay? So one thing that you can do in a screen, it's a little bit of timing here, is that as she's coming up, assuming that the defender is waiting over here, but even if the defender is coming way out up here, it's the same thing. But let's say the defender's over here. She's coming up, dribble, dribble, dribble. Before she gets here and gets trapped, somebody else on the team, either say like number 1 or number 4, will come over and set a screen. Okay, and as soon as that screen is set, she's going to blast right by them. Okay, really close, what we call shoulder to shoulder, which I'll talk about, and give her a chance to either get into the paint, okay, to drive in here and maybe get a shot, or at least give her a clear passing lane to somebody else. Okay, say somebody cuts into the paint over here, you get a clean passing lane. Okay, all right. So that's one way to set a screen. Okay, so for the person on the ball. Okay, now, like I said, we want to do this before she gets over here and gets trapped. Okay, so it's all about timing. So we have to practice, like number 1 and number 4 here, having a good view and being a good judge of the timing. And you don't want her to come over here and get trapped and then set a screen, because if she picks up her dribble here, it's too late, right? It's too late for her to do anything. Okay, so that's one way. Also with the ball, let's say number 2 is right here. She does not have the ball at the moment. Let's say number 4 passes to her. Okay, number 4 passes to her. She's got her hands over here to the outside, away from the defender. She catches the pass right here. Okay, and then number 4 can come over and set a screen. So they pass, and then they immediately come over here, run over, set a screen, and then she rolls off and goes to the basket. Okay? So for the person with the ball, it's either while they're in motion or once they get the pass, then you go set the screen. Okay? All right. So the other way to set a screen is to set a screen for someone without the ball to get them free. So let's take 5 and 3 down here. Let's say number 2 has the ball. Okay? And we talked about, I've been telling you guys since we started, we have to get most of our shots inside of here, right? In the paint, in the lane, whatever you want to call this area, okay? In the lane, all right? Not way out here, not down in the corner, not out here. This is where we should be making most of our action right here. But you saw on Saturday we had a really hard time doing that, and I'm going to tell you why. Because what was we doing here? Let's say number 2 has the ball, and then the other 4 of you would just basically stand here saying, throw me the ball. Right? Maybe somebody would come into the paint, fine, that's great. But you got 4 people yelling at her for the ball. Well, she can't pass the ball because she's covered, first of all. And then you are all covered too. And I told you from the beginning, if you're just standing there, you're not open. Okay? If you're just standing there calling for the ball, and even if you're just kind of like moving a little bit, all right, and the defender just kind of comes with you, you're not open, okay? And quite frankly, you don't deserve to get the ball if you're not open. And I did see too many bad passes where this person, whoever this is, would just chuck the ball up in the air and hope that one of our teammates grabbed it in the paint. Most of the time they didn't, because we played a team that was much taller than us, okay? So we have to figure out how to get open better and give ourselves a chance to get passes and to keep the defense, more importantly, keep the defense guessing, right? Keep them moving around and not knowing where the heck you guys are going. And eventually what that will do, after a few of those motions, will open up a hole in the defense. And then it's a matter of making sure that either you dribble in if you've got the ball or make a pass to that person that's open, whoever has the ball. Okay? Okay, so again, let's say that number 2 has the ball. Let's take these 2 players right here. Well, we want to try to free one of them up. So what number 3 could come over, set a screen on X1 right here, and then number 5 can roll off, right? Number 5 rolls off. You got to move this passing thing back, and gets a pass from number 2 right in front of the basket or somewhere near. Boom, nice easy shot. Okay? So now obviously that can go either way. All right? It could be number 3 coming over here and setting a screen on X5, and then number 5's rolling to the basket. We'll take that pass, etc. All right? So here's the thing with screens, I'm going to tell you right now. You can set screens anywhere, anytime on the court. Set them over here, set them over here, set them over here, set them over here, anytime. Because just think about it. Whenever you set a screen for one of your teammates on a defender, you are freeing that person up to move. Okay? Now, I know what some of you are probably thinking right now. Well, coach, if I'm the one always setting the screens, if I'm number 5 and I'm always coming over and setting screens for anybody, in this case number 1, well then this person, number 1, is the one going to be getting the pass all the time, and I'm just going to be setting the screens and not getting anything. Okay? Have you thought that? And is that true if you have thought that? Well, I'm going to tell you that it's probably not true in most cases, or at least half the time. Think about why. Let's say number 5 comes over, sets the screen for 1. Okay, so number 5 comes over, your teammate comes over, sets a screen on X3 on this defender. Okay, as number 1 goes to the basket, looking for the pass here from 2, okay, what is X3 going to do? Well, they have to make a choice. Either they're going to follow around this way, or they're going to have to try to go all the way around the backside and try to cut number 1 off, or they're just going to let this person go and assume that one of their teammates, will come and pick them up over here. Let's say, 5 slips in over here. All right? Well, let's say that they decide to go chase the person. Maybe we're playing in a man-to-man defense, right? So X3 is covering X1. Well, they have to go after them. So they go after this person, chasing them down from the back. And assuming 2 doesn't get a pass to them, who does that leave open? It leaves open you, who just set the screen. You're left standing there wide open because this person had to make a decision to stay here with you or chase this person. Now you're freed up. Here comes the pass. You've got an uncontested shot. Okay, now all this happens really, really, really fast. A screen only is going to last literally about 2 or 3 seconds. You come over and I'll teach you how to do it. I'm not going to worry about that in this video. It's very simple. Okay, you come over, you set the screen, the person goes, and that's it. The screen's done. Okay, so I'm going to tell you guys now. I expect to see you guys setting screens in the next game. Okay, and we're going to scrimmage it, we're going to practice it, and we're going to do it. Because if you don't, we don't have the size, as you guys saw. We don't have a lot of height on our team, but you guys are still good players, and you still can be very fast. Okay, this is how you're going to do it. This is how you're going to keep the defense moving around, not knowing what you're doing, chasing you guys from behind. I want to see screens being set everywhere. I want to see defenders chasing you from behind, looking at the back of your head, okay, while they try to chase you down and see our passes coming in, okay? Now, it's not going to happen every time. You won't be open every time, okay? But if screens are being set and you're freeing up your teammates, somewhere in those screens that are happening, someone will get open. The defense is going to at some point get confused and is not going to be able to cover everybody and will leave somebody open inside. Whether it's somebody down here cutting in from the screen or whether it's the person with the ball, you know, all of a sudden the defenders get pulled away and then number 2 has got the ball, has a free lane, and then they dribble in and take the shot. You know, either a layup or come in, take a jump shot inside the paint. All right? It's going to happen. But this is how we have to do it. We have to figure out ways to get open. And this is our biggest thing we were not doing. Okay? All right, so that's screening we're going to talk about on Thursday. And we're going to practice both screening for the person with the ball, like I said before, right? Like I said, if 2 has the ball, 4 comes over and screens 3, and then 2 goes. And for screening for people that don't have the ball to free them up. We're going to do both. Now, before I end, the other thing is, hopefully screening fixes a lot of the problem with our point guard or whoever getting trapped. And I mean, this could be happening down here too. It doesn't have to be the point guard. But I'm just using the point guard as an example, where the point guard dribbles up, and comes right up to the defender and stops and picks up their dribble, right? Once you pick up your dribble, can you dribble again? No, you cannot. Okay? What did I teach you guys on the first week to help you move without dribbling? What's the one way you can move with the ball without dribbling? Think about it. Pivoting, right? Pivot foot. That's the only way that you are allowed to move without the ball. Without dribbling. Okay? So if by chance, no matter where this happens on the court, you have the ball, you dribble, and all of a sudden you get nervous or whatever, a defender comes over, you pick up your dribble. Set a pivot foot and pivot your way away from this person. Okay, obviously, again, I can't show that on this. Set a pivot foot and do like a backwards pivot where you're pivoting away from the defender. So now instead of facing right at X3, you're facing either to the right, to the left, or backwards. And then at that point, one of your teammates can come over and you can pass it to them. Because what I was seeing is that this person would come and get trapped, and then they wouldn't pivot. They would just hold the ball and then like rip the ball back and forth because the defender is trying to reach in and grab it. So you got this battle going on right here between X3 and 2. And then, you know, teammate would come over and try to stick her hands in there and grab it. Now you've got this ridiculous, you know, whipping the ball around. So instead of doing that, if you do get into trouble, set your pivot foot, pivot away from the trouble, and then one of your teammates has to be quick enough to come over and take the ball from you. Then at this point, you should be able to make an easier handoff or pass, okay, and allow this person to get away and move, okay? So I will mention that at the beginning of practice, but hopefully if we're setting screens and we're not allowing ourselves to come down and get trapped because we're setting screens on players before the person with the ball gets there, right? Come over and set the screen here so that number 2 never gets trapped. 4 comes over, sets a screen, right, with good timing, and then 2 just can roll off and keep going. Okay, and whether they go to the basket to shoot or whether they can get a pass off to somebody else, that's to be determined. Okay? All right, so I'm going to leave it there. So that's screening. Okay, and again, we'll discuss the technique on how to actually do it and what the rules are to it, because there are a couple of things to remember, but it is very simple. But the bottom line is we have to set screens. We're going to start doing it, and you can set them anywhere on the court, anytime. I'm not going to restrict you guys at all, okay? Because the more you set them and the more you free up your teammates, the better chance of somebody coming free, okay, and being able to get that pass. And that includes whether it's the person with the ball or people that don't have the ball. Okay? And remember, setting a screen not only frees up the person that you set the screen for, it frees you up potentially too. Because as I said, the defender may have to chase that person that you set the screen for, and that leaves you wide open. Okay? So it's great either way, and we're going to work on it. Okay, girls, so that's it. I'll see you on Thursday.